You can answer. Hi, welcome. I'm Layla, and we've got some exciting news to share with you today, so we're going to dive straight in. Firstly, I would like to welcome the founder of Ultimate Boxer, Ben Shalom. Please welcome. Hello. Yeah, right here. Head of Sports Communication at BT Sports, Steve Norris. Two-time world champion, boxer turned bare-knuckle fighter, and Ultimate Boxer director, Paulie Malignaggi. And a former boxer turned one of the world's best trainers. Please welcome Dave Caldwell. Thank you. Welcome, guys. Ben, I'm going to start with you straight away. Tell us, what are we announcing today?
Today, after 2 shows, we're announcing Ultimate Boxer will now be live on BT Sport for the foreseeable future. The next year we've got 5 shows, so very exciting times, big platform, amazing for the fighters as well.
Steve, representing BT Sports here today. Why Ultimate Boxer? Why are you excited about it too?
First of all, we really like the format. I think it's a really exciting format for television, and that's the key thing. TV companies around the world are always looking for good formats for television. What existing sport can you take and change into a great TV format? A great example has been T20 cricket. If you look at the success of that over in the entire world now, that's been a hugely successful event. So we're really impressed with what Ben's done to date with the format. I love that idea of you have an event, there's 8 boxers, 4 boxers, a final, it gets settled in one night. You know exactly what's coming. The attending public can really get behind the event. So I think as a TV format, it's got a huge amount of potential.
Ben, Steve's mentioned the format there and the importance of it. It's like a World Cup final. Walk us through why it's so unique.
Yeah, it's unique because I think everyone understands it. Whether you're a casual sports fan or you're a boxing purist, everyone gets it. But for us, I think it's more than the format as well. We're an entertainment business, we're an entertainment brand, and we just want to make it as entertaining as possible for a bigger audience than perhaps the more traditional shows reach. And so I think that's the exciting part, and having BT Sport, having their YouTube channel, having Box Nation, we kind of cover a lot of audiences, and it's a format that understood by everyone.
Paulie, how does that change the fan experience?
Oh, it changes it tremendously. You're used to watching boxing in a conventional fashion. You know, you're used to watching boxing. You know, you have your undercards and you have your main event, and you look forward to all that. I think on a fight night like this, you know, you have obviously the entertainment value. You have the performers. You have a young hip crowd that's more towards what we're geared to. You know, changing the generational gap, and making our crowds a little younger. And also, you know, the entertainment itself. You don't know who the main event is going to be because you don't know how the tournament is going to shape up. We've tried to seed fighters, and we have kind of our in our head, okay, this might be the final, this might be the final, and so far, you know, you get a lot of surprises because that's what you get in a short 3-round fight. You know, you just don't know who can win, and you've got all these fighters that are hungry because they're all in the prospect stages of their careers. You know, there's different things that are expected of all of them, but some of them have a higher expectation. Some of them there's lower expectations, but the fact of the matter remains, when you still have a good record and you still have something to fight for, you don't care about expectations. You still believe 100% in yourself. So all these fighters, they believe 100% in themselves, and to put them together just for 3 rounds in an advancing tournament, you get a lot of explosiveness. So that changes the fan experience in that you get a lot of excitement every single round. Anything could happen. There's no feel-out process. You've got to get to work.
What's the pull, Dave, for the fighters? Why would they want to be part of this?
Because the next generation. You know, these young fighters, it gives them an opportunity on a big platform, on a major platform. The excitement that Paul is talking about. You know, you're not talking about people going in there and waiting, you know, watching how a fight unfolds 6, 8, 10, 12 rounds, seeing the game plans and things like that. In Ultimate Boxer, it's 3 rounds. You've got 3 rounds to go out there, and in one night, you can go from being a complete unknown in this sport to making a name, and having people talk about you. You know, we've got someone here that's made a name on the Ultimate Boxer before. Shakan Peters. Before that night, I'd never seen him box. After that night, I'm watching, I'm thinking, wow, this kid's good. And from then on, you're going to pick up on him and you're going to follow his career. You know, see what he does, where he goes from there. And every one of these guys that goes into this tournament has that opportunity of doing that. And that's the pull, that's the draw. Because it's kind of like a shortcut. You don't have to go through the big process of trying to make a name, trying to get a promotional deal with somebody. If you don't get a promotional deal with one of the big guys, you're struggling on ticket deals. This is your shortcut to get to the top.
And the platform now with BT just makes it that much more tremendous. You know, you've got so many more eyes on you, and you've got so much more at stake. You know, it really is a shortcut all the more now, as Dave is saying.
Ben, I can see why BT would have wanted to be in on this. Why did you choose BT?
When we first started, what kind of led us into Ultimate Boxer was just seeing how many fighters there were without opportunity. Obviously, it doesn't make sense for the big promoters to give more than a handful of fighters opportunities. They're building them as commercial brands. And so we had friends that were boxers, unbeaten fighters, very talented throughout all the weight divisions, and they just couldn't, it didn't matter what they did, unless they fell in the right hands or the right trainer or the right promoter, they couldn't really move, and they were fighting a few times a year. And so that's how it came about. And so to do that, we had to create a brand that would bring in the audiences regardless of the commercial value of the fighters. And so BT, it's about the biggest platform. Well, it's the leading sports broadcaster in the UK, and it also has the other platforms with YouTube and Box Nation, as I said. So it came down to having a flexible platform that was willing to work with us to get as much oxygen on the show as possible. And so that's kind of what it came down to in the end.
And over the next sort of 12 to 18 months, how is BT going to help you achieve your business strategy?
I think for us, we really want to help the British scene. It's booming as it is, but there's so many fighters in every weight division. In the middleweight division that we've got coming up, that is looking very competitive. We could have filled it about 4 times over, and so the focus is to get into the British market. We don't feel like we're competing with any kind of other promoter, and so focus is to get into the British market. I think BT helped massively with that, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Steve, for your viewers, what's unique coming out of this format, and what's exciting for them?
I think what I'd add to with what Ben has just said is that I think what we're doing here with Ultimate Boxer is really complementary to what we're doing in boxing already. So we've had some great shows already on BT Sport. We've not really been in the boxing game terribly long, but we've had 3 major pay-per-view events in the last sort of 6 months. Golovkin, Canelo, Fury, Wilder, and a fantastic fight between Frampton and Warrington. So we've set a pretty high bar already. We think what Ben's bringing to the table is really complementary. I love the idea of boxing on a Friday night for a start. I think the traditional date has always been Saturday, but I think you can really do something with Friday nights. That's been proven in other sports. Sports can work really well on a Friday night. So I think that's something we absolutely want to get behind. And also we have a huge amount of boxing assets already. We have a really great digital team that do a huge amount in that space in terms of what they do behind the promotions of all of our boxers. So we can work really well with Ben on that side of things. And what I love about this thing, it's the drama of it. To my mind, every Friday night is a little bit like a Rocky film. Somebody comes from nowhere and is suddenly a really big name in the space of one night. I think that's fantastic. I think that's a real TV experience.
Paulie, you already mentioned the show business factor. The fight game's no longer just a fight game. The entertainment factor is a big part of it. How does this tick that entertainment box?
Well, it takes it in that obviously you got to have a base product that's entertaining. So you can take all the other boxes, but if you don't have a base product that's entertaining, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. So I think the base, first of all, is very entertaining because again, you got not just fighters, you got hungry fighters, and when you match up hungry fighters in short fights, you're going to get a lot of action, a lot of explosive action. They know what's on the line each and every fight. There's 9 minutes of action, and you've got to make it all happen in these 9 minutes. Otherwise, you're eliminated right away. And the experience is over for you just like that. So you've got the base is your entertainment value itself of the fights. And then, of course, you have the other entertainment value where, again, like I said, we're geared more towards bringing in that youthful generation, bringing in entertainers, bringing in the experience of a night out. It's not just about, the fight night. The fights are part of a grand scheme of things. It's part of a grand night out, an entertaining night out, a young, hip crowd. We want to attract that kind of thing. We want to make it a sort of a red carpet event, without the red carpet maybe, but with a sort of a red carpet event, an event that you want to be at and you want to experience, not just for fight night, but also for a night of being out.
Dave, would you have fought on a card like this, on a tournament like this, and how would it have affected you when you started climbing the rankings?
Well, I don't know if I'd be good enough to fight in a tournament like this, to be honest. No, I'd have loved to. I'd love to have done it. I think any young fighters coming through, like I said, you wanted to make a name. it's the razzmatazz. Boxing's about razzmatazz these days. You know, you can't just be a good fighter. You've got to have that little bit of extra dimension to yourself. You've got to be able to put yourself out. You've got to be able to communicate with the fans. And on an event like this, where you've got, you know, a different crowd in, yes, you will still get a lot of boxing fans, a lot of hardcore boxing fans that love boxing or go and watch boxing anyway. But then what the Ultimate Boxer franchise is doing is it's pulling in people that wouldn't normally go and watch boxing, wouldn't normally tune into boxing, because it's something different, because you've got that 3 rounds of mayhem. That's what people ultimately want to see. And to the fighters, I would say, don't go in there overthinking, you know, because when we've had these sort of tournaments in the past and you get names that are going in there, they overthink it, and the fights aren't that very good. Fans want to see the good fights, and you've got 3 rounds to implement excitement and some of your ability, but your desire and how much you want it. If you want it, it's all there for you. I would have loved to have given this a go, you know.
Because of the 3 rounds, the speed and the nature of the knockouts, we're seeing more explosive fighting, more of an explosive first round, a higher rating of having knockouts, a more chaotic fighting as well. Does the training for this change?
Yeah, you would change your training, because you know, if you're we have seen before where there's been a couple of fights. I think on the last one there was a couple of favourites were guys that had boxed at English title levels and 10-round distance levels. It's completely different to fighting for 3 rounds. You have to be clever, you have to be smart, because you can't go in there reckless and just take shots for the sake of it, because it doesn't matter if it's 10 rounds or 3 rounds. If you're taking shots on the chin into the body, it's going to tire you out, it's going to wear you out. But then you've also got to think about you've only got those 3 rounds, but then you've got the next round on the same night. You've got to go on again. So how many fighters do we see where we have a great fight and then they're absolutely shattered for the next one, or maybe they get through the next one and that's still a good fight, but then the final, by the time it gets to the final, so there's a lot of things that they have to take into account for this one night of boxing.
Paulie, we've been talking about the change in the boxing industry. How much change have you seen, and how does this format favour the change?
I think everybody's always looking for the next big thing. You know, I think that's in any business. You know, you're trying to evolve and try to make the next big thing, come up with the next big idea in the grand scheme of things. And I think this is sort of the big idea for the moment. You know, I think this is the moment where, you know, you can kind of see how this evolves and this changes things, and I think people are responding to it very well. I think the BT deal we have now, I think is a great example of that. You know, it's getting a great response. People want to see it, and the mainstream media networks are starting to really take that into account, because they are seeing that there's a fan response from this. So I think the more fan response you get, I think that really dictates the market, and that dictates the way things evolve and change in the industry.
So Ben, it sounds like this is the next big thing. When can we watch it? When does it begin?
So we start in London at the O2 again on May the 10th. In the middleweight division. It's really, really competitive, really looking forward to it. That'll be on BT on Friday night, May the 10th. And so, yeah, tickets, shameless plug, but tickets do go on sale on Wednesday. And so sign up now. And, yeah, first of 5 shows. That'll
be on BT Live and multi-platform as well, Steve? Yes. Where can we watch it all?
It will be on our platform. It will also be simulcast on the Box Nation platform, and it will also be on our YouTube channel.
Gentlemen, thank you very, very much. Please give them a massive round of applause. We'll swap over. Thank you. If I can ask you, thank you very much. I'd like to introduce you now to 4 of our athletes. We're going to have a quick chat to them. Shakan Pitters, Grant Dennis, and 3 of our athletes, actually. Derek Arezi, if you could please join me. Shakan, take a seat. And a mic. Shakan, congratulations. You are the winner, reigned victorious of our last event at the O2 Indigo in London. Tell me about that night and what's happened since.
It was a great experience, great night. For myself that day, I haven't really fought out of Birmingham, so it was a new experience fighting in London. But I just remember a lot of my fans was all geared up for it. I brought quite a lot of people down from Birmingham, and it's just a great, entertaining night. When I got there, you know, the staff and everyone, even at Ultimate BOXXER, was very welcoming. But it was a great experience. I just enjoyed the whole journey, everything about it.
And how did it affect your rankings in the division?
Yeah, my ranking, I noticed that it shot up quite high. I can't remember where I was exactly beforehand, but you know, I ended up after that being 9th in Britain. So it did shut up. And And I was a good ranking from that, yeah.
It drew a lot of eyes to you and your name. There's been positives and negatives, right?
Yeah, we've had a lot of interest in my name. I've had a lot of people contact me, but
Calling
even
you
around,
out.
yeah, that's a part of that's part of boxing. You know, if you're not going to be prepared for that, then obviously you're in the wrong sport. But it's been great, even in my hometown. I've had a lot of interest, and not just my hometown, around the UK and other places. People are constantly messaging me on Twitter or my Instagram or anything like that, and it's just humbling to just see the response that a lot of people have given me from it. It's been great.
Thank you. Grant, you are one of our more experienced fighters, fighting in Ultimate Boxer 3.
Yep.
Could this format be too fast, perhaps?
No, not for me personally. I'm quite a quick starter in fights anyway, and I try to implement what I do quite quickly. The format for me is great. Do you know what I'm saying? And it will definitely, on the night, my experience, going over 10 rounds, etc., will tell, because from them, that round 1 to 10, I'm always explosive anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just gonna be over a little bit quicker than I'm used to. That's it.
So you're saying it favours your style,
Absolutely.
but why else did you want to be part of Ultimate Boxer?
Obviously the profile. Yeah, I've been pro now for like 4 years, and you know, I've fought for the English title, won the Southern Area title after 9 fights, after 7 fights, sorry, and the profile and live on BT Sport, the world watching is definitely something that favours guys that are on ticket deals and aren't with the big promoters. So it's just it's a great opportunity.
Thank you. Derek, you will be fighting at Ultimate Boxer 3. By what some people may appear as a contrast, you're also a preacher.
Yeah.
You must have been asked quite a few intriguing questions.
Yeah, I get asked about it a lot. My nickname is actually the Punching Preacher, which it wasn't given to me. I didn't pick that nickname, but it kind of stuck with me.
The Punching Preacher.
The Punching Preacher.
I hear you, yeah.
Some days I punch, some days I preach. So yeah, that's how it goes, really.
And what kind of questions are your community asking you? Because from a sort of religious point of view, people could see that as a contrast.
Yeah, I get a lot. It's an interesting contrast. Obviously, I understand that it's not usual. It's you know, it's quite out of the box. I get a lot of questions about, you know, do I live a double life? Like 1 second I pray for people in church on a Sunday, and next minute I'm trying to punch someone in the face. I get interesting questions like, you know, do I wear a collar? Do I have interest in trading gear? Like, do I train in black and white? Because, you know, but it's all fun and games, man. It's good, man. It's a part of me. It's who I am. Do you know what I mean? So I can't run away from it. So I embrace it.
And do you see a link there for you with the discipline and respect that's in fight sports to your work?
Yeah, 100%. I think the main thing for me is, you know, the main thing I'm always trying to get across is that, you know, boxing is my profession. That's my career. You know, me being a minister is based on my faith. You know what I mean? So for me, my faith has played a very important part in getting me to where I am today. And I think going into the ring, I think what separates me with my faith and belief in that, knowing that I can't be scared of anything. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the main thing. So yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, a great platform to basically show what I'm made of.
Looking forward to watching you guys fight. You'll be fighting again on the night, won't you, Shakan?
Yeah, I've been next fighting the night, so it's a good opportunity again to be on a good stage, involved with obviously these middleweights again, so it'd be good. Not in the actual, obviously, prize fighting bit, I ain't getting down to middleweight, but it's good to be on that, obviously, the show again, and I'm happy to be back in London, definitely.
All three of you sound so intriguing, I could talk to you for hours, but I think this lot would kill me if we did. A massive round of applause for our fighters. Thank you. Now, if you three stay on stage and the other fighters please join us, we're going to have a photo opportunity. And if our four here could join us as well. Thank you.